I also look for accountability. I used to have a boss when I worked in the US. We used to say, if you touch it, you own it. And I love that sentence.
And in regards to your leadership team in particular, like what are the top characteristics, qualities, or kind of experience that you look for? And also, is there anything in particular that you value?
That's a very important question. So first and foremost for me is the team with a big T. So the team will always come before any individual, including me, by the way. So the people I work with, the people I hire, need to understand the concept that it's not going to be about them as an individual, but it's going to be about them within the team and how they can contribute to the team. Secondly, we're a bit perfectionists, so we like to be the best. If you're an athlete or if you're a musician or whatever, it's the same. If you don't have this envy to always be the best, you just don't get anywhere. That doesn't mean we're the best in everything, of course. We don't want to be arrogant, but we're trying to. And so if you do not want to work hard, if you're not passionate, probably, Love Holidays is not going to be good for you. I also look for accountability. I used to have a boss when I worked in the US. We used to say, if you touch it, you own it. And I love that sentence. And so I try to apply it. Adaptability is very important. As you know, Love Holidays is owned by a private equity firm. And having worked myself for the last 18 years for many, many private equity firms, you need to be very adaptable because the pace and the number of times you have to pivot is just much higher in this type of an environment. You need to care about your people because the business is built on people. It doesn't matter how good is your platform, your technology, your processes, your data. If you don't have the right people, it's just never going to work. And finally, I know it's a bit of a platitude, but I believe into it. We work hard, but we play hard. It's very important that we have fun. Love Holidays is a very young business. We're only 11 years old. The average age of my business is 32 years old. I have 46 nationalities. So you got to bring this all together to create an environment where people, want to come back, perform and be, better and better day after day in order to bring the business to another level.
So that's the aspiration. But how do you practically work as a leadership team at Love Holidays?
First off, one of my main objectives is to build very, very strong team. So I always hire people who are much stronger, much better, much faster than me, because it raises the level of everyone. Secondly, we always try to have a lofty vision. Something that people aspire to, something that, makes you wake up in the morning and face the terrible weather that we have in this country. I don't want you to go to work to smash things. And then thirdly, we create what you guys call psychological safety. We create an environment where people can speak up. It's very important. When you bring very smart people, they don't want you to tell them what to do, but they also want to be heard because, very smart people have a big ego and they usually think that they know everything better than everybody else. And it's my role as a leader to just optimize the time that we spend together, to listen to everyone, to hear everyone, and make sure that we take the best out of everyone. And everybody has to feel safe to discuss about anything. So it's not because you're in HR or in people that you can't talk about product. And it's not because you're in tech that you can't talk about finance. And some of my colleagues and team members, we're not shy. We're not afraid of having very long discussion. But at the end of the day, the output is fantastic. So I really think it's worth the investment.